You're watching Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thank you so much for joining us. Our guest is Mark Katchen. Mark is the founder, principal of the Phylmar Group. Can't tell from the name, what's the Phylmar Group?
The Phylmar Group is an environmental consulting firm, and we help our Fortune 1000 clients integrate sustainable practices into their core businesses.
How long has your group been around?
It's been around 12 years.
Okay, so that's 1997, let's say.
That's right.
When you first launched, did anyone take your calls?
Thankfully, yes. Thankfully, yes. But the practices evolved. You know, at first it was mostly focused on environmental issues,
Okay.
and health and safety issues. But since that time, we've expanded into this area they call sustainability, which is focused on planet, profit, and people.
But let me ask you, when do you think that this whole notion of sustainability really took off? I mean, was it Al Gore's film, An Inconvenient Truth, that caused it to soar? What's your sense?
I think it was part of it, but you know what happens is they've been bright lighted a lot with non-governmental organizations focus on this area, government regulation, and now you've gotten overall government involved, like the Obama administration pushing it.
Right. You know, it's interesting. Before I spoke with someone from JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and they just had their first LEED certified building.
Right.
So if NASA is going green,
correct,
you know, you'd think that there is some momentum building in that direction. You said Fortune 1000 companies.
Right.
Big names?
Big names like GE, Nike.
GE. I mean,
right.
I mean, they're building some of the biggest energy appliances around.
Right, and they have a big push on their eco-imagination process. You know, they even invested something like $1.4 billion in their R&D, but they had returns of $17 billion.
Okay.
So it's very significant.
So in 1997, compared to now in 2009, is there an economic advantage to going sustainable? Because I'm just wondering if it was just cost prohibitive back in the late 90s and now not at all.
Well, it is. You know, we have tax credits. There's all sorts of pushes on this area with carbon footprint issues. But I think primarily is really looking at integrating into the core of your business, and that's where the money really comes into play. And
are business CEOs, are they really paying attention to sustainability, or is it more lip service? What's your sense?
No, they're getting into it. As a matter of fact, there was a Sloan MIT study done recently, and we saw over 70% of the people interviewed there are making significant investments in sustainability.
So give us some examples.
So again, we talked about mentioned GE with their investment, and then Nike has also made a significant investment in their line of products where they're really looking at trying to reduce waste, reduce energy consumption, and making it overall a better life cycle business practice.
Quantify it for us, or qualify it for us. What does that mean exactly? So what did Nike do exactly?
Well, they, for example, I think they have about 67% reduction in their waste. Also, they have a 40% reduction in some of their energy usage in these particular product lines. So they're really trying to reduce it, and that goes right to the profit and the bottom line.
Now, I know that as part of the stimulus bill that President Barack Obama supported, there is a significant package of incentives for businesses and individuals if they adopt green approaches.
Right.
Are your corporate clients taking advantage of those? Are they seeing that, wow, we can really make this economically feasible?
Yes, some are. Most of the stimulus package, though, is going to, I would say, the entrepreneur level, you know, trying to develop new technologies. But some have gone over that. Most of the funding is self-funding because they can see how the return on investment is enough to substantiate these investments.
So as we head into 2010, what do you see for this upcoming decade as it relates to sustainability for Fortune 1000 corporations? Is the momentum so strong that we really have turned a corner?
Right, I think so, because they're looking at innovation, integration of the business practices, so it becomes more of a core business as opposed to something where you're just picking the low-hanging fruit.
Wow. Mark Katchen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and for what you're doing for Planet Earth.
My pleasure.
You bet. For Local Edition, my name is Brad Pomerance. Now we're going to send you back to CNN HLN.